The Russian foreign minister said that Moscow wants to supply military equipment to Pakistan. To talk further on this topic, we have with us Lieutenant General retired Ghulam Mustafa, consultant Global Times Pakistan and senior defense analyst with us. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, how do you see this visit of Russian foreign minister to Pakistan after 9 long years?
There are three major dimensions to this visit. One is the international, the second is the regional, and third, of course, is Pakistan purely. At the international level, Russia, as a Soviet part of Soviet Union, was a player and is re-emerging as very major dominant force in this part of the world. Also, it is increasingly becoming effective at the international scene. If one was to go by the study papers coming out of Washington last year, it was very clearly stated that having won the war against terror, it's now time for America and its allies to think and prepare for war against Russia and China combined. Then, if you see, Russian footprints are very strong in Middle East, in that date backs to early 50s. It has good relationship with Iran, and of course, it enjoys a unique position with reference to Afghanistan. With China, it has improved its relationship to an extent that the Western powers think of them as a combined enemy. Then Russia also has historically stronger ties with India. With Pakistan, the thaw is as recent as I think early last decade. So it is an important visit, and Pakistan, being a very major player in the region, attracts attention of everyone, all powers, whether they are at the international scene important or they are gaining importance as the time passes. Pakistan also, with the relation to China being pivotal to this region, has an importance with regard to the joint thought process between Russia and China. If Pakistan and Russia continue to improve their relationship as we see them happening, then I think this region by itself will gain the importance that it needs. Two very major developments which have taken place in the last decade or so. One is that gas pipeline, south to north, which had a few kinks which have been straightened out. And second, of course, is the trade route being allowed to Russia and use the Gwadar port if and when the communication infrastructure allows that. Now, don't forget that this was the very port for which Soviet Union had started this march towards this region and got stuck in Afghanistan. And of course, Pakistan played a major role, lead role in fact, in Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan. So at the international level, relationship with Russia are important for Pakistan, as they are for Russia as well. Coming to the regional level, historically, because Russia has been very close to India, therefore it was always kind of a skepticism in Pakistan that whether and if Russia is ready to at least start considering Pakistan not on equal terms, at least in the terms that it is no more the enemy. Luckily, that has happened now, and it has taken a lot of effort by Pakistan's military, Pakistan's foreign office, and Pakistan's national leadership. As I said, that Russian interest in the region, because of its relationship with China, and also because it is now almost kind of a confrontation with the West, particularly America. Therefore, if Pakistan and Russia were to improve its relationship to a level which I think they can and they should, then Pakistan's problems, not only regionally but internationally, would be considerably reduced. Third, of course, is the Pakistan level. I said that earlier, the Russian relationship with Iran and Iran, China coming into Iran in a big way, and then this gas pipeline from south to north, it augurs well for the region. Russia can play a role in normalizing of relationship between Iran and Pakistan, and Iran can supply all the gas that is needed by Pakistan, and this gas pipeline can not only be helpful to Pakistan, as Pakistan's northern region, can ultimately be part of CPAC and can be taken to where it is also very important for China. Communication infrastructure, if were to be developed through Afghanistan or around Afghanistan, reaching either Chabahar or Gwadar, would be beneficial to Russia as also for Pakistan and certain Asian republics. This will open up the export of resources, oil, gas, and other resources from Caspian Sea, which is considered to be a very, very major source of hydrocarbon resources. So Pakistan stands to gain there also.
Yes, sir. Also, we have seen that Russian foreign minister has visited Pakistan after India, and also he's promoting normalization talks between two countries. How do we see this step?
Russian foreign minister's India visit wasn't as warm as it has been in the past. When asked about the supply of S-400s, the missile system, which is a bone of contention between Russia and America, because America isn't allowing the induction of this weapon system either in India, even in Turkey. Turkey, of course, has gone ahead and got it, but isn't very keen to have this in this region. China, of course, has its own systems, which are may not be a copy, but could resemble quite a bit with the resources or the weapon system that the Russians have been developing. Also, increased cooperation between India and United States of America is being seen not so very favorable to Russia, particularly Russia and China combined. So when we see it in that backdrop again, this visit is critical for Pakistan. Russia may not break off from India or may not lower its level of relationship with India, but can at the same time develop a stronger relationship with Pakistan, which will help Pakistan, as I said earlier. Also, if you see recently, there was a Taliban conference, a series of these conferences. One was recently held in Moscow, and India was conspicuous by its absence. That again sends a very strong signal that peace in Afghanistan is of interest to Russia. It doesn't want its Southern Asian Republic friends to be destabilized because of Afghanistan or what can come from Afghanistan. It's also keen to see the Americans withdrawing from the region. And together with Iran and Pakistan and China, this forms a kind of a golden ring around Afghanistan. Turkey, of course, can also be co-opted, and therefore one sees that these countries coming closer together with reference to Afghanistan also, in which Indian role isn't as major as India wants it or as the Americans would like to have it. So coming to Pakistan at this point in time, after having visited India, I think is again significant.
Also, the Foreign Minister Pakistan, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, added that both Russia and Pakistan have a new approach and a new mindset. What do you think about that?
Normalization of relationship with India is in the interest of both countries and the people of both countries. But there is a major hurdle. Having played a key role in ceasefire way back in '65, Russia understands this region and also understands the Kashmir imbroglio to quite an extent. Therefore, when the Russian foreign minister refers to normalization, there is a clear understanding that this normalization isn't possible unless Kashmir is sorted out. And to move in that direction, Russia has a clout in India, and that can be useful not only for India, for Pakistan as well. And if Kashmir issue can be sorted out and solved to the satisfaction of Kashmiri people, it is in the interest of this whole region. Russia stands to benefit from it, and therefore, uh, I think Pakistan would welcome Russians helping out in this regard as well. Our foreign minister was also very keen. And when our foreign minister says that we are looking at things in a newer fashion or in a different perspective, it's with regard to the international scene, because traditionally Pakistan and Russia weren't very close, and traditionally we found that Russia was very close to India, and traditionally we found that Russia and China also weren't very close. But these things have changed. Ground realities are different now. And therefore, within this overall backdrop, both countries have to come to an understanding of the how things are developing in the region and internationally. And if they can come to this kind of an agreement and understanding and develop a common perspective, it will be very, very interesting for Pakistan, for Russia, and obviously Pakistan, Iran, Pakistan, China, and how the Afghan issue is settled ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.